Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for this special figure showcase and review, we're going to be looking at the Age of the Primes Voyager class skybyte figures. So thanks to everybody who dropped the comments in the unboxing video. We've got so much to go through in this, so I hope I cover everything for you. We're of course going to see how he looks with his wave mate, Heat Wave. We're of course going to see how much he's improved on the Thrilling 30 version of himself. Unfortunately, I don't have the original figure, so I can't do that as a comparison. We've also got some new RID figures and indeed some original RID figures. So as I start to pop all of these just out of the way for now, just a couple of things. One, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button for me now, please, because it really will help me out. Secondly is to thank Indemand and Hasbro for the amazing opportunity to review this first. And also that just leads me into the next part where I want to, I suppose, get across to you guys that if you've seen any of my reviews of any figures that aren't out officially yet, then these have been obtained via official sources, either from Hasbro themselves or from the retailers allowing me to do so. So just want to reassure you with that. This has been, I suppose, acquired of perfectly legitimate circumstances. Right, let's have a look at the packaging then. The packaging is beautiful. This is the new Age of the Primes boxes. They do have the windows back in, which people are very pleased with. We've got both artworks of robot and alternate mode there. There, of course, is the Primes, which interestingly enough, because I've got Heat Wave's box here, it looks like this is going to make, yeah, pretty much that's going to make, yeah, they're going to join together a bit like the Legacy Evolution boxes. Apology for the glare there. Also, you can see it takes 28 steps to transform. I've uploaded a separate transformation tutorial to keep the main length of the video down and not to spoil it for people who don't want to see it. Let's get him out of the box. I've already took him out, but I've not set free any of his accessories yet. So we're going to do some first impressions. Then we're going to come back, have a look at him in his alternate mode, do the comparisons, and then of course get him back in his robot mode for the main comparisons and display ideas. Now you can see we've still got everything tucked away in there, so I need to set this free. I know somebody put on one of the comments about the shoulder things not being attached, and that's because, as you can see, they don't come attached in the box. You have to attach all of these pieces yourself, like so. So let's set these free. Interestingly enough, look, they come on sprues, which is this is pretty much like an old school figure where you've got to assemble, you know, loads of bits to it. I might have to very quickly just set them free and come straight back to you. So there we are, set free from the packaging, and I just quickly want to show you on the instructions. I don't know if any of you remember, I suppose, on some of the teasers, it did say that he was a Decepticon and not a Predacon. In fact, I can't find any signs of it saying either on this particular packaging, which is great. I've also noticed it says till all are one on the top, which again is fantastic. But yeah, no signs of it saying Predacon or indeed Decepticon. So the instructions are brilliant. It's telling us what to do straight away with these pieces. So with these shoulder pads, these are going to fit onto the side like this, and this, as again loads of people already put in the comments, this is a really big Voyager class figure, and with us adding all these other parts to him, he's only going to look even bigger and indeed have more of a shelf presence. So these interestingly do come on the sprue as well, so let's just separate them. Hopefully there's going to be no extra bits of, you know, flashing on it which would cause it not to fit in. That's really strange. I haven't done anything like that in a figure in as long as I can remember, so let's just make sure that we're getting these the right way around. Let's just pop this into there like so, and the other accessory that he comes with is this one, but we're going to see this in more detail in the later stage. So very quickly again, now we can do some first impressions and articulation, see if it's hindered by the extra bits that we've attached. So these shoulder, they're huge, they're fully articulated, you can see there on the side, and they'll move up and down as well. The head sculpt is beautiful. It's really detailed. The red eyes look fantastic. The silver's like reflective as well. There's a few different types of silver and grey. Bicep, you can see there curling. There is a bit of a gap there in the forearm, and the wrists, there's no wrist articulation. You can see that there. This one obviously doesn't even have a hand. These are going to move around all over the place. It's nowhere near as much kibble as the Thrilling 30 one, which you'll see in more detail in the in the later stage of this particular video. This will rotate though, which is great. Legs will kick all the way up to 90 degrees, and they'll go they'll go way past, actually way past the splits. You can do that on either side. Even with all this kibble, you've got a fully unrestricted waist movement all the way around. The head can still look up and down. Ankles, we do have a rock, and the feet sort of do a toe tap, but that looks like it's, yeah, that's going to be more for transformation rather than anything else. But again, as far as first impressions go, I'm sure you'll agree this is a nice, really detailed, meaty looking Voyager class figure. So let's come right back and let's have a look at him in his alternate mode. So we're back and he's in his alternate mode, which is absolutely looking fantastic in honesty. Quick apologies, no transformation process on this video. That is for two reasons. One, to keep the main length of the video down, and two, is not to spoil it for anybody who doesn't want it spoiling for them. You'll be quite surprised how many people message me thanking me for not showing him the transformation process. But as I say, if you want to see it, you can see it in a separate video. This I want to get across to you again though, guys, is a huge figure. For Voyager, it's like we've gone back to sort of old school, even near enough as big as, you know, the Voyager class movie bots. I'm going to bring in just a few random figures first and foremost to give you an idea of some scale and indeed of some size. So there, of course, is your animated Prime cab, which again is tiny compared to this, absolutely tiny. Let's bring in just a few others before I bring in that's a Diaclone, but it's still an Optimus Prime cab. Before we bring in, what's the word I'm on about, Skybyte from Thrilling 30. It's huge. Standard sort of deluxe figures, way bigger than them. Some of the special BotCon RID figures, again, just to give you an idea of size, way bigger than these tiny little core class, and then I suppose even bigger than your, what I would class as quite a big Voyager class figure, you know, these Seekers. But there we go, that's give you an idea a bit of size. If you want to see any more, let me know in the comments, and while I've still got these, I'll do a few more comparisons. Before we have a look at the Thrilling 30 version, let's have a look at the detail on him. The detail on the head is exceptional. You've got this additional bit of articulation where you can really turn the head and the neck all the way down. The jaw, of course, is going to open, and if we wanted to, we can of course attach his accessory weapon into the mouth like that. Now there's no way we can close it, and there's no way we can attach any blast effects unfortunately to it. That would have been quite cool. It's quite well, I was going to say, I don't know if it's as tidy as the Thrilling 31 on the underside, but from the outside at the top it is much tidier. It fits together really well. That of course is his head. You've got a teeny bit of movement there. These of course we attach, so there's loads of movement in them. The tail has movement there, you can see, no problem, and also this will spin around. It doesn't have the firing mechanism which we had in the Thrilling 30, the original one. These can move as well, so overall it looks good. I'm not too sure if you could pose him or have him resting on one of the stands. Again, the Thrilling 31 did have the ability to do that. I suppose the only thing to do very quickly is bring out the Thrilling 31. Oh, that's just popped that out, so let's just have a quick look at these compared to each other. So to be honest, it's a lot bigger. It's way bigger than what I sort of thought it would be. It's definitely, is it? Yeah, definitely the main body you can see is much bigger than the Thrilling 30. Of course, the difference is this one does fire and it has got the spinning mechanism, which this one hasn't got at all. But look at the extra detail, I think, on the side of the figure where you've got, yeah, it's crazy to me. It looks exactly like a Cyber Shark, to be honest. Compared to this guy though, it's a definite improvement. It really is, in size, in stature, and in definitely, I suppose, the way it looks. You'll be able to see that a little bit more, to be honest, when we get him back into his robot mode. There isn't really much more, I suppose, to say about this particular mode, apart from everything seems to fit together quite well. Sometimes, especially with the Thrilling 30, I did really struggle getting them to all fit underneath. It perhaps isn't as smooth underneath, let's be honest, but you can't see that, and I give every figure, every company a get out of jail if you can't see it for that. So there we go. From the top, that's probably the worst bit there, that gap there, but otherwise it's, yeah, looks great. Let's come back to for the final time in robot mode and get a few more comparisons done then. Okay then guys, back for the final time with him in his robot mode, and as I say, I think this is definitely the most superior out of the two modes. However, they both do look good, but what I'm really impressed with is just how much this does collapse all up at the back. You know, that is quite slender really, and the difference I'm going to show you in a second between this and, you know, the Thrilling 31, it's day and night. You'll see that in a second. Now with his accessory, of course, you can pop it there. Unfortunately, as I said in the other part, you can't attach any blast effects to it really, and of course the wrist doesn't spin. You can spin this around, and of course you can adjust these, and that is of course used for transformation, which you've probably seen in the tutorial. I think I showed you the knee bend. It's not too bad. It does pull away a teeny bit, like when it comes off the tab, a little bit like the Cyclonus mold, but it holds together very well, and it does feel, and this is the most important thing I think for me regarding this figure, especially after just having a quick play around with the Thrilling 31 as well, it just feels much more robust. So let me get him to stand up better for you, and let's bring in, in fact, let's turn these over, because I think that looks even better like that. But let's bring in the Thrilling 31, which I want to, again, if I can get across to you, it just, the weight difference in these is insane. This feels twice as heavy as that. And there we go. So I think the Thrilling 31 is just slightly bigger. Of course, we can do different things with these. I can sort of copy that if I wanted to and push them up like that. The beauty of this is exactly that. You can maneuver them however you want to. So if we go sideways on, I mean, look at what they've done with the collapsing of the shark there, and of course with the shark head sticking out there. Now this is the biggest difference when we spin it round to the back. That is much more hollow than this, way more, to be honest guys, way more. Even in the backs of the legs there, whereas at least that is solid plastics. There's a big difference there. Of course, we've already seen we haven't got the rotating and of course the firing missile in this. I don't think we'll ever see firing missiles again, to be honest, but of course, yeah, huge difference in the chest with them anywhere. Again, if you want to see these in person before Saturday, I'm going to be taking these to the TF Nation minicon, so you'll be able to see them in person. And of course, up until then, drop me some comments if you want to see any more comparisons. Right, let's do some which I've already had in the comments. So let's go with, first and foremost, some original RID figures. Now I've got to confess, this is one of my least favorite figures. He doesn't stand, always falls over, etc. But I wanted to do this sort of separately. So here's some original RID figures, just to give you an idea of how they look and display. Oh, that's not one. I was getting mixed up. I was thinking that was Scourge. Scourge is over here. Let me bring, is he even going to fit in? Are we able to see his head? Let's move him over. Again, super excited for the HasLab version of this. I wasn't supposed to put that one on. I was supposed to put this one on, which is there. So I don't have too many original ones you can see there. They all look good. I think they look pretty good together, to be fair. Now, if I move these out of the way, and then if we go with some of the newer figures, and then of course we'll just do some of the I suppose industry standards, you know, your Optimus Primes and all that, just to again give you an idea of some size and some scale of these. So there we go. Let's bring in Sideburn there, and we got Toe Line here. So there's a few RID figures coming out in Legacy and Age of the Primes, etc. They all look pretty good together. Completely wacky, crazy color scheme that, you know, just works, I think, with these. Not as drastic as your Generation 2, but they do work. So let's go with some primes. Again, these are just to give you an idea of scale and of size. There's your little deluxe. That, of course, is a G1 cab. This one is Earthrise. Where's Prime? Where's the main one? This, of course, is the new industry standard one. So it is a big figure for a Voyager class. It is really big. I've got a couple of small ones here as well to give you an idea, and a missing link Bumblebee. So yeah, for a Voyager class figure, really big, looks really good. And again, the other good thing is as well that even though you do attach these bits onto them, they don't need to come off, and they don't come off during transformation either. So there you go. Not much more to say about him. Again, if you want any more quick comparisons before I have to send these back, please do let me know in the comments, and I'll do my best to get them put up in shorts or do a completely separate video for yourselves. In the meantime though, guys, this was a quick look at the, in honesty, very impressive looking Age of the Primes Skybyte figure. Let me know what you think in the comments, and of course, take care.